Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges, and joining me today is national team member Emma Weyant. Emma, how's it going?
Hi, I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Let's just start at the beginning. When did you get into swimming? What led you to the pool?
So I started swimming when I was probably around 8, so roughly 11 years. I'm the first one in my family to ever be a swimmer. So I was born in Florida, but I grew up in Pennsylvania. So when we moved back down to Florida in Sarasota, that's when I joined my first swim team. And I know ever since my first tryout, I just really loved the sport, and I really loved the team aspect of it.
Nice. Do you have a favorite memory of swimming when you were younger, maybe on a summer league?
So in Florida, we don't have summer league, but we did these things called ribbon races. So it's kind of just, like swim at 25 and you get some type of award for finishing, basically.
Yeah.
I remember my very first one, I started swimming the wrong stroke. You couldn't get DQ'd back then, but yeah.
Nice. What
Yeah.
what stroke did you swim, and what stroke were you supposed to swim?
I think it was like a 25 fly, and I couldn't do fly yet, so it just wasn't happening.
Nice. And you swim for the Sarasota Y now, is that right?
Yeah.
How long have you swam for them?
So I've swam for them my whole life, so
Okay.
11 years this summer. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So
Yeah.
you've been there a while.
Yeah.
Your younger sister swims too, right?
Yeah, Gracie.
Gracie. Have you guys always swam together?
Yeah, so she started swimming a little bit after me, and for the past 2 years we've been on the same team, so that's been fun. We race each other all the time, so yeah.
Nice. Now, I mean, I know you're really good at the 400 IM. I know you're pretty good at pretty much everything you swim. When you first started, did you have a favorite stroke, or did you have a trajectory for yourself? Did you want to be a sprinter like everyone else?
I was actually always in the distance group. I spent a lot of my age group swimming breaststroke, a lot of that. But mostly distance, and always keeping IM in it because I've always really liked training all the strokes. So.
Nice. When was there an aha moment for you and you were like, oh, I could be pretty good at this, or I could do this in college?
So when I was in middle school, probably in our junior group, I was allowed to start doing one practice a week with the national group, so the older kids. And I remember asking my coaches why they put me in on the IM day and not the distance day. And I was always really confused by that. But, I just kind of had to trust them, and obviously it paid off. So, yeah.
Yeah. How big is the Sarasota Y team?
It's not huge. We're probably 200, 300 people. So, I mean, it's a decent size. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you grow up, looking up to swimmers on your club team, looking up to national level or Olympic level swimmers? Did you have idols growing up?
Yeah. Actually one person on our team, that's kind of been a mentor to me. She was a junior team member. She swam at Texas, Bethany Leap. She's always been kind of there for me, giving me advice along the way, which has been really helpful. So.
What kind of advice did she give you, or how did she help you come up in the sport?
Right before I guess it was my first junior team, she kind of talked to me the summer before that, because she had been training with us that summer. She was just kind of talking to me about what it meant to be on the junior team and how you went about that process and everything. So that was really inspiring to me, and I will always remember that.
How old were you when you did make your first junior team?
So this was 2 years ago, so 16.
Okay. Tell me about making your first junior team. Was that something that you had been shooting for? Was that expected for you?
Well, ever since the previous summer, I swam the 400 AM at US Open, so that was 2017. I got DQ'd in that. So that kind of like eliminated any chances I had of making the team that summer. So kind of, I used that going to the next summer. And, that was always my goal that entire year. But, I think focusing on the 400 AM again for that, and really just working on my weak strokes that summer to really give myself the best shot.
So tell me about the race where you actually made the junior team and what you kind of felt after you knew that you had made it.
So in the morning, I knew that if I wanted to put myself in a position to make the team, I either had to be in the B final or like the A final was a reach for me. But I ended up getting eighth. So that was kind of unexpected, but that meant like worst case scenario, I get last, I would still make it, barring a DQ again. But yeah, I think my prelim swim was definitely a lot better. Like my first A final was kind of all over the place. It was a bit of a mess, but I learned from it. Yeah.
So was that junior Pan Packs
Yeah.
in Fiji?
Yes.
What a trip.
Yeah.
I was jealous. I was nowhere, I was like 26 at the time, obviously couldn't make a junior team, but I was jealous of everyone on that trip just because you got to go to Fiji. What were your thoughts on initially just realizing that you got to go to Fiji with a group of the best swimmers in our country?
Yeah, I mean that was crazy. Like, I know those like flyers that Mitch used to give out flying to Fiji. Those are always like a huge deal. And like going through the packet, just seeing like what it looked like there, that was like unreal. It was so exciting.
I just talked to Mitch recently on one of these podcasts, and we talked about, for the last couple summer nationals, it's always so cool seeing him go up to each junior and say, like, here's your packet, you made the team. What was it like the first time you got that packet of flying to Fiji?
I was like so excited. Like it was right after my swim, and I was not the happiest with my swim, but once he gave me that, I was like, it's fine. Like I just like my coach, he was like there and he's like, you can have it after you warm down. So yeah.
Gotta warm down.
Yeah.
Typical coach.
Yeah.
So what was the flight to Fiji like? How long is that flight?
I think it was like 12 hours. So yeah, that was the longest flight I've ever been on by far.
Yeah. What did you do? I mean, were you able to sleep? Were you encouraged to sleep because of the time zone adjustment? Did you just watch 6 movies?
Yeah, honestly, I think we tried our best to sleep. We flew out of LA at like 12, so it was already so late, and we were just trying to stay up that whole day to sleep on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Did you know anyone else on the team going into this trip?
Yeah, so I had known some people like briefly, but I mean, now my college roommate was there, which is crazy.
Which is
And
who?
Alex Walsh. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, so many people that I met, like I'm such good friends with now. So that's awesome.
Were you able to bond with them immediately? Did it take a couple days? What was it like when you guys first got to Fiji?
I think that like something really cool about the junior team is like how quickly the team kind of bonds. Mitch had always done a really good job about that, and the team captains, like the older leaders, they always help all the new people and kind of just get everyone to like engage as soon as you get there.
Yeah. And what was the most fun activity you guys did before the meet started?
I think, like every single bus trip we took, we would play like some type of game. Like I know one of them was like someone would wear like headphones and like the music would be like all the way up and they would be like singing. So, I think Phoebe and Carson gave some really good solos on the bus trip. It was so funny. But yeah.
Nice. Uh, and so then, since it was a junior Pan Pacs, you could swim multiple events, right? Even if you didn't qualify for them.
Yeah.
So tell me about your meet. How did it go swimming wise for you?
So I always swim kind of a bunch of stuff. That's something that my coach has always been adamant about. So I started off with 800. I think I got third in that. And then obviously 4am was my event that I was there for. So I ended up doing pretty well in it. My teammate Mariah and I, we went 1-2 in the event, which was really cool. And then other than that, I swam the 200s and then I think 200 breaststroke. So
nice. Sorry. So following that meet, did you have any big takeaways? Do you feel like you learned anything? Were you happy with your swims?
I was definitely more confident and I realized like, being a part of Team USA and how, I didn't want that to be the last time that happened. And that was really kind of what helps me again going into the next year.
Yeah. When y'all were there, the practices, I'm guessing you had a few of them at least before the meet actually started. Was it a pretty different environment compared to just your normal YMCA practice?
I think yes and no. I always thought like I don't always swim on the distance group, but I thought, our team swims on the higher end of yardage and everything. But when I was in Fiji, I was training, my primary group was the distance group. So I was doing a little bit more than I usually do, but I mean, I think it worked for me. So yeah.
Nice. So you're a distance swimmer. Do you have a favorite set or a set that your coach does regularly that you like?
My coach's favorite set that we do kind of prepping for meets is 40-50s, and it will be like something like 4 at pace, 1 smooth, or it will go less pace as the weeks get closer. So it's not exactly a distance set, but it kind of is a set that the whole group does together. One of the more distance sets that we've done, which is more like of an annual thing, is the Kim Linehan set, which she was a world record holder on our team. I don't even remember what year. And it's a set of 800s, and pretty much the interval is descending, and you have to like take a certain amount of rest at the 100s and 200s and stay on the same interval. So that's always really challenging.
Oh, yikes. Have you ever had a workout or a distance workout where you got out and you're like, this was one of the best practices of my life?
I think last summer, probably a month out of nationals, we did a set of 400s, and they were quarters, IM and Frim. So I think it was 4. So every single 400, you added 100 fast until you got up to a 400 Frim off the blocks. And our goal was to be as close to our best time or faster. And I think I had been like 440 before nationals. And I think that I was
long course.
Yeah, long course. And I think I went like a 438 on the last one. So that was my best time, but it was Frim. But either way, it was kind of motivating.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you weren't in a suit, were you?
No.
No suit. So Frim, free, back, breast, free. So yes. You replace the butterfly with freestyle. Nonetheless, if you're going 438 at the end of a workout, That's stout, which
Thank you.
is a perfect segue for us to talk about your summer nationals last summer. Um, you get going into 2019 summer nationals in Palo Alto, California. You talked about 2018 motivating you to want to be on the junior team again. So heading into that meet, where were you mentally?
Um, our summer wasn't super perfect or anything. Our pools were doing the lining, so we were swimming in some 25-meter pools, which I mean, looking back, we were like thankful to even be in a pool. But um, you know, I really didn't know like what to expect really. But I was pretty happy with the results. Yeah.
Uh, Take me through your meet. Did you have an event every day? How many events did you swim total?
So I did the 200 to mile freestyle and then 200, 400 IM. I think I was entering the two back, but it was the same day as like the 4 a.m. So I ended up scratching it.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So, I like starting with 800, kind of always been like not comfort zone, but not as nerve wracking as other events. And, I won a best time in that event. So then that kind of got the ball rolling for the rest of the meet.
Yeah. Did Refresh my memory. What events did you end up making the junior team in?
So I had been 17, so I couldn't like qualify for junior worlds. So,
Did not realize that.
no, it's fine. Yeah, we also messed that up because like before the summer, it was a whole thing. Anyways,
Okay.
um, I made the national team in the 4 a.m.
In the national team in the 4 a.m. You won a national title in the 4 a.m. Is that right?
Yes.
Take me through that race because I think that surprised a lot of people. Did you surprise yourself with that race?
Yeah, most definitely. My prelim swim was like smooth. I felt good about it. Going into the finals, I didn't really have any like huge expectations. Like uh, medaling, I was looking at, but it was kind of a reach at that point. But I just tried to get in there and just race everyone. Yeah, it was kind of a really good executed race, and it ended up working. So
And your final time was 4:35.
yes.
That's pretty solid. Congrats. That was an awesome swim to watch. I was there for that. That was very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's pivot a little bit. You're entering your freshman year in weeks at Virginia. Um, Tell me about your recruiting tip there. What sold you on UVA?
Yeah, my official visit seems like so long ago. But I just remember going there and seeing a lot of my friends that were at the previous junior pan packs also. But as soon as I got there, I really loved the team. I loved the coaches. I loved the energy, and what I really loved about UVA was the goals that they have. And Todd always talks about the upward trends of the program and everything. And I think that was something that I was super excited about. And then this past year, we got to go back, which was really cool and kind of play a part as being the recruiters now. And, now we're going soon, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, being on deck at UVA and seeing one of their practices, the energy is high pretty much 100% of the time, and I mean it's quite electrifying.
Yeah.
Um, so what are you expecting heading into this season? Knowing that it's probably not going to look like most seasons given the current global pandemic.
So I know that it's definitely 100% not going to look the same as it ever has. We've been talking a lot to the coaches and everything about kind of doing everything we can to make it as normal or adjusting to the new normal as possible. But right now we're going as if everything is according to plan. And preparing for college season as well as another Olympic year. So
Yeah. Heading, so, quarantine started. I think COVID got pretty big here around the middle of March. Before that, how was your senior season going? I guess swimming wise.
yeah, so I felt really good in training. We were, just like everyone else. I think we had our end of season short course meet that was right before COVID. But I mean, I think training wise, it was going well. And then everything, started shutting down. So
Yeah. How focused on were you on Olympic trials?
that was definitely the main focus out of everything last year. I added a lot more dryland wise and swimming wise. Really just working on everything that I could to perfect it. And in an event like I am, there's always something to work on. So
Is that something you like about IM? Is that you always have room for improvement?
yeah, I mean every time like I swim it or I like watch a video of it, I always find something that we can work on, stroke wise and also like the way you swim it. So I think it's really fun to always have something that you can improve on.
Heading into college, do you have an event schedule that, who knows what you'll end up swimming, but do you have an events that you would like to swim?
With the events that I'm definitely swimming 4 a.m. and 500, and then right now I'm looking at either doubling 4 a.m. 2 free or swimming the mile. So we'll see. Yeah.
2 free 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So no 200s of stroke really on the table.
Possibly. They're all on the last day, so I really have an open last day. So I guess that really depends on like what the team needs and everything. So
Very diplomatic answer.
thank you.
So since quarantine started, have you been able to swim? Or I guess March, April, were you able to swim at all?
So our pool closed, I think, at the beginning of April. So after that, we did not organized, but with my sister and some other people on our team, we were doing some open water, which definitely isn't my favorite. We had to get a little creative like everyone else. We were swimming in some like community pools that were, I don't even know how long, but a lot of dry land, a lot of cardio stuff to make up for it.
Are you someone who can run? Are you someone who can bike? Because not all swimmers are in those boats.
Yeah. So I actually never ran. Like, I don't know if I'm coordinated enough for that, but we did a little bit of biking, but we got to swim a little bit, which was good, even if it was open water or a shorter pool, but yeah.
So no running.
No.
Every time I run, I just kind of think to myself, why?
Yeah, it hurts.
So currently, you're back in the pool. Is that a pretty much full time for you?
So we just started adding back in our doubles, which obviously we're super blessed to be able to do. We still have to follow all of our guidelines and everything for social distancing and everything, but it's starting to look a lot more normal than it has.
That's nice. So the first time, I guess the first time you were able to have a normal practice, did it surprise you, either good or bad, on how you felt getting back in the water?
I mean, I think I thought it was going to feel a lot worse than it actually did. After a couple of days starting to build up our legs again, I felt pretty good, obviously very well rested. But yeah, it definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you guys kind of ramped back up? Have you done any particularly challenging sets in the last few weeks?
Um, we've done a lot of kicking. I really like kicking. That's something that our team puts a big stress on. Can't even think. We were doing a set of 150s, and our thing is always trying to be faster than your best 200 time. So I think we started at maybe 2 minutes, and it got down to 140. Yeah, so trying to hold under your best time the whole time. So that was a little difficult, but yeah.
Uh, 140. I mean, you don't have a best 200 time of
No,
140, right?
no.
Can you kick a
Um,
150 on 140?
yeah, I've always been a pretty strong kicker. It's much better than my pulling. I think my fastest one out of the whole set was a 140. I wasn't holding 140s, but yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank
Do you know your best 100 kick time?
Um, I think the best 100 kick I've done is like maybe 58, but not consistently.
Uh, just- I think if you can kick a 58, who needs consistency? That's pretty speedy.
Thank
I saw one time at the end of a practice, so I saw Matt Grievers kick a 5700 kick. So 58 seems pretty good to me.
you. Yeah, maybe he will want to race one day.
Matt Grievers, we're calling you out.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the same meet as Emma Weyant, 100 kick, it's on. uh, so, well, I mean, that's awesome. So, are you more of an underwater kicker or an overwater kicker?
Overwater, yeah. Freestyle with board. Um, we've done a lot of underwater kicking these past few weeks, so it's gotten a lot better, but my favorite is definitely freestyle.
Gotcha. So aside from swimming or staying fit, how have you been spending your time during this quarantine?
Um, you know, I have three sisters, so we always find ways to keep each other busy. We binge so many shows, and then we actually just got my sister just got a paddle board, so we've been doing that a lot recently. So yeah.
How many of you can fit on the paddleboard at once?
That's definitely a take turns thing, which, that causes a lot of drama, but
That makes sense.
yeah.
What are the top three shows or movies that you've watched or binged during quarantine?
Okay. So I just finished Dead to Me on Netflix, and I thought that was really good. I watched that with my mom. I am watching The Politician right now. And then I finally watched what is The Girl on the Train. I read that book so long ago, so I just recently watched it. So yeah.
Nice. I sat next to a woman on a plane who was reading that book, and she recommended it. But I haven't read or seen the movie, but I have heard it's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. I'll have to add that to my list then. So wrapping up here, moving forward with so much uncertainty, are you heading to campus? And if so, when?
So everything has kind of been pushed back a little bit in terms of like when we're getting our dates. It's supposed to be, okay. I know classes start the 24th, I believe, of August. So a little bit before then, which is soon. So yeah.
Yeah. So as of now, the plan is still to head to UVA. How are you spending this next month in terms of training and in terms of your personal and social life?
Yeah, so I obviously want to stay and keep training in the best ability, like stay in the best shape. We have a little time trial like that most people are doing later this week, kind of like wrapping it all up. But yeah, other than that, spending the last couple weeks with my family, my sisters. Yeah.
So you're the oldest of four?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be a big loss for them.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're ready to get out.
Yeah, yes and no.
Makes sense. Well, Emma, any parting thoughts before we sign off here?
Um, you know, thank you so much for having me again. And I'm really excited for this entire next year. College and trials, everything. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, Emma, thank you so much for your time and sitting down to talk with me.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.